Hello. This week's Torah portion, Devarim, recalls the episode of the spies whom Moses sent to scout out the land of Israel and who came back with a demoralizing report. They said that the inhabitants of the land are greater and taller than we, and their cities are great and fortified up to the heavens. The people got scared. God promised to help them, but they murmured in their tents, saying, "Because the Lord hates us, he took us out of the land of Egypt to deliver us into the hand of the Amorites to exterminate us." That's from Deuteronomy. So God decreed that the entire generation of the Exodus shall die out in the deserts, and only their descendants will enter the land. The message here in the rest of the Torah is, study the Torah and follow commandments, and God will do the rest. Trust that all will be well. The prophet Jeremiah told the people that their neglect of Torah study and Jewish observance would bring calamity upon them. But they did not listen to him, and as a result, the first temple was destroyed. Babylonian invaders may have physically destroyed the temple, but our tradition clearly tells us that we allowed it to happen by our lack of observance. The rabbis of the Talmud wrote extensively about this point, particularly in Echa Rabbah, the Midrash on the Book of Lamentations. Let us study parts of this book together. The Midrash tells us that Rabbi Yehuda Hanassi sent Rabbi Assi and Rabbi Ammi on a mission to organize religious education in the cities of the land of Israel. They came to a city and said to the people, "Bring us the guardians of the city." The people then introduced them to the captain of the guards and the magistrate. The rabbis exclaimed, "You call these the guardians of the city? They are its destroyers." But that they meant, if you rely only on armed guards and judges, you will be lulled into a false sense of security, and the city will certainly be destroyed. The people asked the next logical question: who then are the guardians of the city? The rabbis answered, they are the teachers of Torah and Mishnah. It says in the book of Joshua, "You will study Torah day and night." It also says in Psalm 127, "Unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in vain." This means that a house can only stand if it is built on education and observance of Torah and mitzvot. These are what will guarantee your security. The Midrash continues. Rabbi Huna and Rabbi Jeremiah said in the name of Rabbi Shmuel ben Rabbi Yitzhak, "We find that the Holy One, blessed be He, may overlook the three cardinal sins of idolatry, sexual immorality, and murder, by allowing people to repent and do teshuvah. But he does not overlook wholesale rejection of the authority of the Torah. The book of Jeremiah said, 'Why is the land perished and is burned up like a wilderness?' And the Lord said, 'Because they have forsaken my Torah, which I set before them, and have not obeyed my voice, nor walked in it.'" It does not say because of idolatry, sexual immorality, and murder, but because they have forsaken my Torah. The Midrash continues. Rabbi Huna and Rabbi Jeremiah also said in the name of Rabbi Hiya ben Bar Abba, the book of Jeremiah also says, "They have forsaken me and have not kept my law." Why the repetition? Isn't "they have forsaken me" the same as "they have not kept my law"? No, it is not. God is saying, I wish they had forsaken me, that is, refused to believe in me, yet still kept my commandments, because the light contained in the observance of my commandments would have led them back to the right path. This is an extraordinary statement. It says very clearly that belief is secondary to performance in Judaism. We can work around crises of faith, but it is more difficult to work around the abandonment of observance. We can be mad at God, we can shake our fist at God, we can even deny God, but we must continue to observe the commandments even when we do not understand them. To underscore this point, Rabbi Huna continues, "Study Torah even if not for its own sake, because even if it is not for its own sake at first, it will eventually be for its own sake." The French have a saying, "L'appétit vient en mangeant," which means appetite comes while eating. So, if you study Torah just because you like the company of your fellow students, because you love the food they serve, because the teacher is cute, because your spouse dragged you, because you want to impress someone with your erudition, because you're doing research for a project, because your parents made you do it, that's all right. Eventually you will do it because you like to do it. As a rabbi once said, he who comes in with a closed mind may, upon the doing, come out with an open heart. The Midrash adds that Shmuel, a 3rd century rabbi, taught in the name of Rabbi Shmuel ben Ammi, when the Gentile government enacts oppressive measures against the Jews, these measures can be successful only when Israel casts words of Torah to the ground. In other words, they can't hurt us if we are observant. Today, can we continue to accept this philosophy of blaming the victims and its companion philosophy that observance will shield you from all harm? When our sages wrote these words, only the first temple was being mourned. Since then, we endured oppression at the hands of the Romans, the Muslims, the Crusaders, the Inquisition, the pogroms, the Holocaust, the Arabs, the Muslim terrorists. All of them our faults. Even though the Holocaust in particular preferentially wiped out the most observant Jewish communities in the world, in light of this, how can we make the sages' teachings relevant today? Like this. The sages did not know why evil exists any more than the rest of us. They were not interested in speculation about the past, only in planning for the future. All they could do was ask the question, now that evil is here, now that it has happened, how can we extract good from it? Blaming the oppressors would not accomplish much good, other than setting the record straight. In fact, it would make the survivors feel even more sorry for themselves and live in self-pity, and inciting them destructive hatred for the oppressors that would prevent them from rebuilding normal lives. But blaming the victims can accomplish some good by getting them to become more religious and closer to the tradition. I think we can accommodate the sages' intent by accepting our shortcomings and working to overcome them. We don't have to accept any reasons why these terrible things have happened and are happening to us. After all, we're not even commanded to do so. But we accepted to continue to identify as Jews come what may, in spite of the high risk and in spite of the high pressure to abandon our heritage, because something deep within us told us that our heritage was good, that it produced good people who did something good with their lives, and because we simply could not do otherwise and live with ourselves. So, does it not stand to reason that we should continually study what it means to be a Jew, learn what we Jews are responsible for, and live a little more Jewishly every day? Shabbat Shalom.